99% of solving problems is hard work and a lot of resilience. Welcome to Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say, Inawezekana. If this is your first time being here, we encourage you to hit the subscribe button such that every time when we upload a new video, YouTube will be able to notify you. Welcome. My name is John Kimani. How have you been? I believe that you've been doing very well. Now, last time when we were around this praise and space and we were doing what we call online class, we dealt with why it is a problem for most people to solve problems, and we say that most people fail in problem solving because of fear, because they feel intimidated. They feel like every time when they rise up to solve those problems, they will look stupid, or maybe they may lack the capacity to solve the problem. Other time, we also say people fail to solve problems because of ignorance. They do not know how to solve the problems, and basically because they have never gone through such a problem, so they don't have the knowledge, the information to solve the problem. And again, we also say because of emotional factors. If you want to learn more, kindly go to Marketplace Media, our YouTube channel, and please look for that video plus a whole content of other videos. Please watch them, like them, comment, so that we can grow this channel. Welcome to Marketplace Media. Now today I would want us to consider something different in discussion. I want us to continue with that kind of discussion, and today please allow us to talk about the 7 prized traits of problem solvers. In life, you are either a problem solver or a problem creator. Have you ever worked with a problem creator? And I simply feel sorry for you, because problem creators, one of the lasting effects that problem creators does for us is that they leave us annoyed, they leave us embarrassed, they leave us feeling harassed and empty. They leave us with a ton of challenges. We feel like we have lived with lots of problems. And a problem creator is that somebody who actually creates problems intentionally or unintentionally without actually offering a problem. These people who are problem creators make fun. They are actually happy when they create problems. Now let's ask then the question, let's discuss. Was the discussion and the whole aim of this topic is to help us to become problem solvers. Remember, for every challenge that we go through in life, there is a solution. The reason why God has allowed you to be present in this time and age is so that you become a problem solver. So the big question is, how are you able to spot a problem solver? Or if you desire, and it is paramount that you desire to be a problem solver, because we say there are so many advantages of becoming a problem solver. Remember, in our introduction lesson, we said the world is looking for problem solvers, not for problem creators. If you don't want to be out of job, if you want to get to be employed just like yesterday, then develop the mindset of a problem solver. So if you're looking at yourself and you're saying, John, I want to become a problem solver. I don't want to be out of job. I want to be respected. I want to be honored. I want to have money. I want to have wealth. I want to outlive my lifetime. I want to leave legacy. Then become a problem solver. Let me get this into your mind, that no person actually, as long as you are a problem solver, you'll never be forgotten. The reason why we remember people like Obama, the reason why we remember people like Pope John, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther, the reason why we remember all these names is because they solved a particular problem in their generation and in their time, because they solved a problem. So how can we be able to develop the traits of a problem solver? Now, very important before we dive in, is that those traits are learnable. Those traits can be learned. You can be able to learn them. You can be able to pass them. And please remember to subscribe and like and comment on this video. Now, here are the traits of a problem solver. Number one, they are practical. You know, they give specific steps on how they are going to solve those problems. They are not fake, they are very practical. If you read with us the book of Joshua chapter 6, the book of Judges chapter 6, we'll read the first 5 verses. This is what the Bible says. Let's go. Joshua, there we go. Meanwhile, the people of Jericho had been locking the gates in their own town wall because they were afraid of the Israelites. No one could get out or come in. The Lord said to Joshua, with my help, you and your army will defeat the king of Jericho and his army, and you capture the town. Here is how to do it. Now, I need you to look at that. Here is how to do it. God actually, because he is a practical God, he is actually giving a step by step on how Joshua will be able to defeat the king of Jericho despite them having locked the gates. Okay, and look at this. Look at the strategy, a step by step. March slowly around Jericho once a day for 6 days. So step number 1, march slowly around Jericho once a day for 6 days. Take along, as they march, take along the sacred chest and have 7 priests. Even the number of the priests is mentioned. Walk in front of it, carrying trumpets. But on the 7th day, march slowly around the town 7 times while the priest blow the trumpet. So on the first 6 days, the priests are there. They are 7. They are going in front of the chest. They are not blowing the trumpet. On the 7th day, they march slowly around the town 7 times, and the priests are blowing trumpet. Step by step. Now, the priest will blast their trumpets, and everyone else will shout. So at what time will the people shout? When the priest blasts their trumpet. What is going to happen? The wall will fall down, and your soldiers can go straight in from every side. Now Joshua called the priests together and said, take the chest and have 7 priests carry the trumpets and march ahead of it. If you look, if you continue with the discussion, one of the things that you're going to realize is that Joshua simply repeated the modus operandi, you know, the step by step which God had actually instructed him to do. You know, and so we are saying that problem solvers are simply practical. They have action steps. The action steps are practical. They are very specific. You know, they are complete. They are numbers. You know, it's a logical flow on what to do at what time and who to do it. Okay. They're very practical. So if you are a problem solver, then you must become practical. You must be able to list that these are the actions that needs to be done. You need to say, we begin with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Who will do it and how will it be done? And a lot of problems don't get solved or end up recurring again because we do not have a specific action step on how to solve problems. You know, part of why people make a killing, whether they are trying to fix organizations or whether they are trying to fix relationships with people, is simply because they are practical, they are methodical. There is the whole aspect of saying, this is how I'm going to do it. Okay, very, very important. So if you want to become a problem solver, then you must become practical. You must develop actionable steps, and you must describe how you will do it. Remember, the why you do it is also equally important on how you do it. Let's say that again. The why you do it is equally important as how you do it. The second trait of a problem solver And you need to ask yourself this very important question: is optimistic? Being optimistic is simply saying there is simply a way. You know, problem solvers are people who believe no matter, even when the walls are tightly shut, even when it looks like it is impossible to solve the problem, they strongly believe in their hearts that it is possible to solve that problem. They always say there's a way to get around this, there's a way I can fix my this organization, there's a way I can overcome this problem, there's a way I can be able to overcome sales, there's a way I can be able to defeat market, there's a way I can increase my online presence, there's a way I can be able to overcome this challenge. There is always a way. If you look at David in 1 Samuel chapter 17, you understand that he went into a scenario where everybody was running away. At the mention, at the rise and the announcement and the declaration and actually issuance of the challenge by Goliath, everybody, the Bible says, everybody ran away in fear. Everybody thought that Goliath is too big to hit. Now David comes in. He is a small boy. He is not an army officer. He is actually a shepherd. He has been sent by his father actually to look for his brother and take back the report. But upon hearing this challenge from Goliath, he begins to ask questions, and he says, I can be able to handle this Goliath. In 1 Samuel, which I would want us to read, chapter 17, we'll read 2 verses there. Verse 46, when actually David stood before Goliath, these are the words that he said to him. Verse 46, or let's begin verse 45. Now David answered, or we can even go to verse 42. When Goliath saw that David was just a healthy, good-looking boy, he made fun of him. Now, do you think that I'm a dog? Do you think I am a dog? Goliath asked. Is that why you have come after me with a stick? He cast David in the name of Philistine gods and shouted, come on, when I'm finished with you, I'll feed you to the birds and the wild animals. Now David answered, you have come out to fight me with a sword and a spear and a dagger, but I've come out to fight you in the name of the Lord all-powerful. He is the God of Israel army, and you have insulted him too. Verse 46, it reads, now today the Lord will help me to defeat you. I will knock you down and cut off your head, and I will feed the bodies of other Philistine soldiers to the birds and wild animals. Then the whole world will know that Israel has a real God. A real God. Now listen to that. Okay. Let's lash to verse 36. Sir, I have killed lions and bears that way. I can kill. Now listen. I can kill what? This worthless Philistine. He should have made fun of the army of the living God. Very, very powerful words. Now David is simply saying, he has that attitude that says, I can do it. I can make it. I can overcome this kind of giant. I can be able to handle this giant. You know, confidence is very important. You know, we say confidence actually gives you 30% chance of winning the battle. A lot of people, when they face challenges of many kinds, what they do is that they are filled with fear, they retreat, they run away, they are not able to face the challenges that are ahead of them. Now, one of the quickest and one of the hack of solving life's problem is to develop confidence. You cannot be able to overcome any challenge in life as long as you are full of fear. You need to be able to manage your fears, step into the waters, so to speak, so that you can be able to overcome. One of the things that actually surprised King Nebuchadnezzar when he came face to face with the 3 Jewish young men was their confidence. He actually asked them, are you telling me you're not afraid of the fire? Are you not going just to bow Are you not afraid of the fire? But the young men said, Your Majesty, we don't need to defend ourselves in this matter. The God we worship is able. Now listen, the God that we worship, our God, is powerful enough to rescue us and your flaming furnace. But again, even if he fails, even if he is not willing to deliver us, now we want you to know that we are not going to bow to your idol. Now that leads me to ask a very simple question. Why is it that a lot of people become overly pessimistic? As in, we are filled of fear. What if it doesn't work? What if these things doesn't work? You know, the three young men were not pessimistic. They were simply full of confidence that it's going to work. Now, why are most people so pessimistic in life? Because it is very important as early as this to run away to overcome pessimism in your life. Number one, it's a learned behavior. This is something that they pick while they are growing up. You remember when we are children, we could pick anything. We could even walk on fire. You know, we and we dreamt big. Remember the childhood dreams where you said, I'm going to buy this. You never talked about when we are talking about buying a car. Nobody was buying a Toyota Vitz. No, everybody was buying Mercedes-Benz, V8, this Volvo, these big high-end machines. Nobody thought of himself as a watchman. Nobody said, I'm going to be a driver. And I have no problem with those vocations. They are highly respected. But nobody talked about becoming a tea guard. Everybody said, I'm going to be a medical doctor. I'm going to be an electrician. I'm going to be a civil engineer. I'm going to be the president. People talked big. But as life went on, we actually start cutting down and stressing down our dreams, and so people laugh at us. Because people laugh at us, they look at you, say, hey, you, of all the people, do you think you can manage to be president? Do you think you can manage to own a V8? And that kind of behavior actually makes us to be pessimistic. Number two is because of what we call sympathy vote syndrome. Now, this actually is a tactic that politicians use. They would want to go out there and tell us the reason, please vote me in because I've been terrorized. Like in this country, they would say the dark forces from State House, maybe they would talk about Mount Kenya Mafia, simply because they want to get attention and validation. And when you pray sympathy vote, what you do is that people start feeling sorry for you. They listen to you, and you become the center of attention. And in the name of crying, in the name of lamenting, people would want to sympathize with you. And people, even when things go wrong, people will not blame you. And we always say that this syndrome of sympathy vote actually organizes pity parties so that people can attend, and you narrate to them and you cry so that they can feel for you. Another thing that actually encourages the spirit of pessimism in our lives and actually robs us optimism is the fear of disappointment. You do not want to raise your hopes up. You just want to pray within a safe periphery so that if things do not get the way you wanted, you don't suffer disappointment. And so a lot of people would, because for fear of disappointment, would actually want to speak disappointment, would want to speak failure, would want to speak impossibility for fear of disappointment. Then fatigue and past experiences are also things that are actually encourages the spirit of pessimism. Past experiences of failure. You grew up in an environment where nobody ever reached a high school, where nobody have ever started a business, where marriages never work. Then that kind of a culture, that kind of a background can actually encourage pessimism. What are we saying? We are saying in an environment of pessimism, we become worst problem solvers. Actually, we become problem creators. Now, number three that actually is a trait of problem solvers is what we call can-do attitude. Can-do attitude. Are you looking for a live streaming partner? Look no further. Do you have a graduation? Do you have a burial? Do you have a religious ceremony which you do not want to share with your friends, and people your friends are far away, they cannot be able to come? Why don't you talk with Marketplace Media? They will be able to offer you live streaming services, and they will stream both on YouTube and Facebook. Their prices and affordable. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to Marketplace Media, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and please we are learning traits, 7 priced traits of problem solvers, and we are dealing with can-do attitude. There is no problem solver who do not possess this kind of an attitude, and this is the kind of an attitude that actually fuels every successful man. And this kind of an attitude, the good thing about it, it is highly infectious. And just to illustrate this, if we continue reading the book of First Samuel and chapter 17, and we read verse 52, maybe we can begin in verse 50. The Bible says, "Now David defeated Goliath with a sling and a lock. He killed him even without using a sword." Now David ran over and pulled out Goliath's sword. Then he used it to cut off Goliath's head. When the Philistines saw, now this is where I want us to look at. When the Philistines saw what had happened to their hero, when they saw what had happened to their hero, they started running away. But the soldiers of Israel and Judah let out a battle cry and went after them as far as Gath and Ekron. Actually, waliwafukuza mpaka kwa nyumba. Their bodies, the bodies of Philistines, were scattered all along the road from Sharaim to Gath to Ekron. When the Israelite army returned from chasing the Philistines, they took what they wanted from the enemy camp. Very, very interesting. Now, I need you to look at when the Philistines saw what had happened to their hero. This is what they did. They ran away in terror. Their courage gave away. And this is what the power of can-do attitude can be able to do. And let me ask you, let me ask us, how can you be able to develop that attitude of I can do? How can that attitude be part of you? We'll propose a few things. Number one, healthy relationship. Please don't stick around with the cross. Don't stick around with failures. Don't stick around with people who believe they have nothing to offer. Surround yourself with people who believe they can make it. You know, self-confidence is also will strengthen you from walking away from toxic, draining, and a deserving relationship. Please show me the kind of partnership you have. Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So that is very important. Number two, we can develop confidence by or can-do attitude by being open in trying new things. You know, break away from routine. You know, break away from routine. There's some routines that actually saps our confidence. So get out there, try to do several things. If you've never tried fishing, why don't you try to do that? If you've never read a book, one book a whole day, just try it. You know, if you're the kind of person that actually keeps quiet, try speaking it out sometimes. You know, so it is very, very important for us to be able to develop a can-do attitude, because when we do that, we are going to become resilient. We achieve a performance. You know, we are able to access more opportunities in life, and again, we are able to make healthy decisions. Trait number 4 of problem solvers is the ability to handle rejection. If you are a problem solver, then you have the ability to handle rejection. Life, when you knock at life opportunities, life will tell you no. It will deny you. It will just tell you you're not qualified. But somebody with a problem solving trait or DNA who will handle rejection. Show me any politician who have made it in life, who have never faced rejection. President Kibaki was rejected. When he offered himself for presidency, he was rejected. He was rejected twice. The Raila Odinga has been rejected over 5 times. And I'm very sure if the Lord would allow him to live to 2027, he shall offer himself for presidency. He is one of the people who actually knows how to handle rejection. When doors close on you, because they will, that people who are problem solving will not run away. They will not interpret that as exit or quitting point. They will actually come back. They will not feel insecure. They will not feel discouraged. They will come up again. When a request is turned down, they will not shrug. They will shrug off as if nothing happened and put the request again. Trait number 5 is that they are action oriented. Problem solvers are action oriented. They follow through with their commitments. They do things that they say they will do. They follow their action steps, like we said, and they will actually implement them. They will do them the way they say they are going to do them. If they don't work, they will revise their action steps and they will be able to do them. These are action people. They do that which they say. No wonder they are very good in to-do list. They have to-do list every time, every morning when they wake up. They have to-do list, and they say, today I'm going to do this and this and this. I'm going to do a memo. I'm going to read a chapter. I'm going to call so and so. I'm going to, they have things that they are going to do. And at the end of the day, they look at their to-do list. They check that which they have done and that which they have not done. Okay, very, very important. And if in 2024 you want to make an impact in your life, please have a habit. The moment you wake up after saying your morning prayer, please have a to-do list. Develop a to-do list. Go with it. And the beauty of these things, if you don't have a smartphone, which have to-do list which you can type, then you can carry a notebook. Just a small notebook, pocket friendly. You can write, and then as you progress on with the day, you keep on checking and looking at the things that you said you're going to do. Very, very important, developing a to-do list. Number 6, they are fearless. People who are problem solvers, they are fearless. They are undoubted. They are not challenged. They are not intimidated by problems. They believe that every problem can have a solution. They are change agents. They believe that God has placed them to be a difference maker. And this is the challenge that we are throwing to politicians. That God has put you in a time like this so that you become change agents, so that the narrative of corruption, the narrative of poor performance, the narrative of lying, can go, because you are change agents. Pastor, you're the bishop, you're the moderator, you're the senior pastor of that church. God has called you to be a change agents, to transform the lives of people, to be able to make that village, to make your environment to be better than you found it. They are smart, okay? They use experience, the breadth of knowledge, empathy, low intelligence, to be able to look through the complex issue and be able to come up with workable and relevant solutions. Okay, they are able to break into a solution. Then the other thing, because they are fearless, they are empathetic. They begin, the reason why they want to solve the problem is actually rooted because they feel they have compassion for the people. They want to help them. They are not happy when people are going through these challenges. Okay. Then number 7, very important, is the keenness around them. In other words, they understand what is going around them. They're not the people who do not understand what is happening. These people know what is happening. Remember, there are two types of people: those who know what is happening around them and those who do not know what is happening around them. Now, problem solvers are perfectly aware of what is happening around them. They know the trends, they know the patterns, they know the people, they know the key influencers, they know the laggards. I mean, they just have they understand what is going around them. Now, before David would be able to handle Goliath, he began by asking questions, because that's the only way that we are able to solve problems. If we read chapter 17 verse number 26, the Bible says David asked. Now note that word, David asked. He gathered information, he looked for information. You cannot be able to gain revelation if you do not ask questions. So let's go. David asked some soldiers standing nearby, what will a man get for killing this Philistine and stopping him from insulting our people? Who does that worthless Philistine think he is? He is making fun of the army of the living God. And because of asking questions, they answered him. They responded to him. Asking questions will simply give us revelation. It will give us an understanding. We'll be able to know what we are going to do. Asking questions is very, very important. And there's an article that I would highly recommend called 16 Powerful Benefits of Asking Questions You Should Know by Victor Uyawane. He says, when we ask question will give us information. You only get answers to the question you ask. So if you desire to know anything, ask questions. Number 2, it helps us to relate with others. Asking questions create a conversation. People feel loved. You can imagine if the president would come and ask you a question. What is the greatest problem in your area? That creates a relationship. And so one of the quickest way of relating with people is asking them good questions, because it creates a moment of interaction. Number 3, it also promotes a good decision making, because once you ask questions, people will be able to supply with you with information, because asking questions simply means that there is gap. There are some things that you do not know. So once you ask questions, you are able to get answers. That information it helps you to process it and to arrive at a good decision. The reason why some decisions are bad, the reason why we are still in problems, is because we are afraid of asking questions. Remember, when you ask a question, it's going to promote decision making. And then number 4, very, very important, when you ask questions, it's also going to remove many misunderstandings. All of us are dark. There are things that we do not know, yet we need to know. So for us to be able to remove misunderstanding, biases, prejudices, ask question. Very, very important. One of the quickest way of eliminating misconceptions is by asking question. If only the king of Samaria actually took time to ask questions, he should not have been arrogant. He should have asked question, why are you bringing me the letter? No, I was told that there is a prophet here. Part of misunderstanding, especially in organization, in marriages, is simply because people are afraid of asking questions. If you don't understand something, please ask question. When you ask question, number 5, you're going to have direction. Asking question gives you direction. He who asks questions never misses his way is an African proverb. If you do not know where you're going, please